behind the gun. No rain for a heart that's turned cold. No time for a man who's grown. I don't talk a lot. Hello, Joseph Fields and Margie TV. Hello and thank you. How are y'all? Thank you. I appreciate it. Wide awake, thinking about tomorrow. What will I face? Will I still taste sorrow? Or will I change from these lessons that I learned? Or will I do it all again and watch these bridges all burn? Broken pieces, reaching for a purpose, believing in the dream, but I can't even. Thank y'all for coming in. How's everybody going? How you doing? How's your 2021 year been? Big light, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm hoping to have a couple guests on tonight. That's been on my live streams here before. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Thank you. I appreciate that. Merry Christmas. I hope everyone's had a great Thanksgiving, y'all. Yeah, I hope to have a guest or two on tonight. Yes, she's a lady. Ladies first. How's everybody doing? Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, if I can get a couple guests up tonight. In case one of my guests are now watching, I'll go ahead and put that in the chat log there. Hello, Sweet Peace Quebec. How are you? How's your Thanksgiving been? We're into a new month now of December, and the Christmas season is kicking in. Thank you, Margie TV. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I already have a guest coming up, y'all. And I hope to get some people coming in. I want to do this once a year. People that's been on my panel, even people that has never been on my panel. Kind of like the year in review, you know. How has your 2021 been? We're going into 2022. Hello, Miss Ann Walsworth. Thank you. Let's see. You have to unmute yourself.
What's up, brother?
How are you, sir? Thank you for coming on.
I appreciate you having me, Dave.
I've noticed a couple of your videos, my friend. You have a 12-year-old already knows the answers. That's pretty awesome, true. Man.
I've got a few of those interviews saved up. I'm going to start posting them from time to time on the channel. I didn't want to put them all at one time.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. And y'all did some road work out there, I've noticed on your channel. Yeah, that's pretty awesome of y'all to do such a thing, you know, littering, picking up people's trash and things. I mean, that makes a difference, you know, in the community.
Yeah, we don't just go out and we teach people about science or expose people to the truth, even if they've never heard it before. We like to go out and make a difference in our community, whether it's, picking up trash off the side of the road, making the place nice. So it's not just about the people, it's about the world we live in. And we do it in the Walmart parking lots too. We'll walk around and take people's buggies back to the corral for them. and say, hey, we just asked you to read this brochure. We'll take this back to the buggy corral for you, and you have a good day. Just try to do something nice for the people in the community.
That's awesome, man. It gives you an opportunity too, to tell them the flat Earth.
That's true, brother.
How's your year in review 2021? How's it been going
Um,
for you and your channel?
Dude, it's been going
Your
awesome. I've
channel
probably
has
gained,
grown somewhat.
yeah, I think I've gained 1,000 subs this year. Been to some huge flat Earth meetups. Been to two meetups with over 400 people at them. And then our street activism, we've had over 30 people at one of them and 20 people at a couple of them. This past weekend, we had 12 people. So we'll be out there again this Sunday. And we've just been having a really, really good time, brother.
That's awesome. I saw where you was advertising something in Florida that's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. January 1st, Flat Atlantic is happening. So come on down to Flagler Beach at the Golden Lion Cafe. It's a big bar on the beach. And there's going to be about, I'd say, between probably 100 and 150 people out there.
All flat earthers, or
All flat
just
earthers, brother.
I got you. What about YouTubers?
Oh yeah, there'll be lots of YouTubers out there that have channels. You'll see Zulu One out there, Waters Above. You'll see Awesome Austin out there. So a lot of the big channels with a lot of viewers, though, or a lot of subs, they'll be out there, man. And we'll be out there with an infrared unlocked P900 doing long distance photography and videos, showing things that you shouldn't be able to see if the Earth was a sphere.
Well, that's cool. I mean, you get your own test right there on the spot.
That's right,
This
brother.
was a
Because
spur. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, it's one of those things, that separates it from being a belief is to knowing, because knowing, the belief is the enemy of knowing. So once you know it, then you can move forward. So we want to give people the opportunity to do the scientific test for themselves and just show them firsthand what the truth is. And I feel like that's way more impactful on people than just talking about it.
I know your time is limited and everything, and this was a spur of a moment thing. What it is, my creative mind, last night, I wanted to have some guests on that's like a year in review, and if I could do this once a year, everyone that's been on my panel and be able to come here at the end of the year, and hope you had a happy Thanksgiving and hoping you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and more growth for your channel. Uh, yeah, that's one time you told us you was going to tell us a little bit about these chemtrails.
Yes, sir. You want to talk about that now?
If you can open up to us a little bit, yes, please.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna hold nothing back from you. Matter of fact, I was working on some of these fueling systems just a couple weeks ago down at the airport. So, for those of you that don't know, I am a former pilot. I used to be with the Civil Air Patrol, and now for a living, I work on fueling systems for gas stations and airports, marinas, things like that. I do explosion-proof electrical work, and then I monitor the actual fueling systems at the airport. So I can see how much fuel is being put into planes. I can see when they fill up, how many planes can come in daily. I see exactly what's added down on the tanks. They use a substance called Status 450. That's STADIS 450. They bring it in by the 55-gallon drum, pour it into the JP5. And for those of you that don't know, JP5 is the fuel that um, commercial airplanes use, like a 747. That's what they use, JP5. And the Status 450, you can look up the MSDS sheets online. They're public information. It's free to look up. And I don't mind telling you that's what's being added to the fuel. And you'll see that it's composed of aluminum, sulfur, barium, all the elements that are present in the chemtrails. They say the reason they pour it into the fuel is to prevent electrostatic discharge in the fueling system, because the main cause for plane crashes, the explosions in the actual fuel lines themselves, because it's not the gas that is most flammable and explosive; it's the actual vapors itself. So, if adding aluminum to that, they say prevents the electrostatic discharge, making sparks from electrostatic energy, and that's why they say they add it to it. Now, that could be the case, and that could be, all 100%, because aluminum does prevent electrostatic buildup. But we know that this is harmful to us. We've noticed an increase in aluminum, and barium, and sulfur in our crops from many studies that are done on this. Washington State University, during the pandemic that happened, a lot of the colleges closed down. So one of the professors took to the skies and was analyzing chemtrails himself and found all these substances in the chemtrails. And the status 450 is the thing that's causing this, because those are the exact ingredients of status 450 you can see from the MSDS sheet. So, do they know that it's harming us and causing harm and being present in our crops? Yeah, they have to know it. There's no way they don't know that. But but this is where the speculation goes. I'm just guessing that the people that are put in power, the ones that are going to vote on that type of legislation to stop doing it. If you know this information, you complain to people. I mean, you're going to ask your politicians to put a stop to this. But how are they put in office? They're funded by the oil companies. Um, so those people aren't interested in losing money and having their planes blow up. So they're not going to make any changes regardless to the public health. And that's my opinion. Why they continue to do it. What you think, Dave?
You've made mention that you've been in a lot of planes, and have you seen these trails in action when you've been in these planes?
Yes. Anytime your plane makes a wide sweep, you can notice the chemtrails behind it. It's not every single time, but I have noticed it in planes that I've been in, and being on so many flights, I've been all over this plane in planes, which is it's funny they call them airplanes, not air globes, because they fly over a plane, not a globe. But I've been to many countries all over this plane, and I've seen it all over the plane. Whether I was in China, Philippines, Japan, Peru, it doesn't matter. This is being done everywhere and to everyone, and it's just something that we need to be aware of. I don't think there's really anything we can do to stop them at this point. I mean, people will say, "Well, what about a whistleblower? What if somebody comes forward and says something?" And I always ask them the same question: name one whistleblower who's come forward and it turned out well for them. So don't expect something like that to happen. Don't expect things like this to change because the people in power don't want it to change. So that's just
Yeah,
something
that's
I believe
true.
we got. It's something we need to observe, know about, and be able to adapt to. What can we do to counteract this? That's a position that I think we need to take at this point, because there's seems to be no stopping it.
No, there's not no any stopping it. They say once they've started and they've got the atmosphere, it's kind of like weaning. They would have to wean the atmosphere off of it slowly. But I remember reading some articles not too long ago, maybe like a year ago, that they were starting this thing in stages. And they've kind of like tripled, and they would add to every year, increasing these chemtrails to achieve whatever their goal is. Do you know what their goal is?
I don't know what their goal is, but we can look at what's going on around us and try to come up with a conclusion. So if we look at what happened this summer, like you just said, they keep amping it up and amping it up. Well, this summer they really amped it up. Um, Bill Gates gave millions of dollars to Harvard University to fund a project known as the SCOPEX project, SCOPEX, and the idea behind this project is to reduce global warming. So what they do is they fly in the skies and they spray aluminum on purpose, and they tell everyone that's what they're doing. So they're spraying these aluminum particles in the sky as part of Project Scopex. Now, why are they doing that? Well, they say to block out the sun, but we know that that's not the real reason why they're doing it. All you have to do is take a look at exactly what Bill Gates recently did. He bought 256,000 acres of farmland making him the largest private farmland owner in the entire world. And then you look at the Scopex project and where they're spraying the aluminum in the skies, and it's only over property that Bill Gates does not own. So they're spraying over the farmlands of everyone else, but not his. And the only overlap area they have is in Colorado. It's a small section of his property, but the rest of his property, all those acres that he owns in all those states, even the large purchases in Louisiana, there's no Scopex activity there. So if the real purpose is to block out the sun, wouldn't you do it evenly all over the plain? But so I always think that there's something nefarious behind it, and really all you need to do is follow the money.
Yeah, that's true. Um, yeah, they're contaminating everything, the water, and these fine particles would get everywhere. They're not going to stop Bill Gates' land from getting these fine particles because they spread, through the air and the wind. It's pushing it. Um, but yeah, what about like ash? I know I'm questioning you more than on the flat Earth right now, but ash. Do you know anything about them spraying ash?
I do not. I have not researched that. But I
Right.
also want to point out that these aluminum particles, when you put aluminum particles over um, a medium, in our air is an example of a medium. You can do it on water as well. That's how you project holographics. So imagine if you're going to do something like an alien invasion that weren't real or something like that. If you have all these aluminum particles in the sky in high concentrations, you can project holograms into the sky that'll look real. They'll be 3D holograms. So that's something else to think about.
Right. Okay. Um, I guess we can get to the flat Earth. Have you made any new discoveries on the flat Earth recently?
I've been doing a lot of research into sound, the speed of sound, and how that shows that NASA's not doing what they say they're doing. And when sound travels, and when you get to a sonic boom, we can all observe sonic booms in our life. The crack of a whip, thunder. These are examples of sonic booms. And sonic boom is nothing more than breaking the speed of sound. And the speed of sound is 761 miles an hour at sea level. When you get up in altitude, it goes down, and it's not necessarily the altitude that's causing that to happen, but it's actually the temperature. So as temperature drops, particles move in the medium. In the medium in this example would be the air. They tend to move slower, so the speed of sound, in order to create a sonic boom, the speed of sound slows down. So if you're at, like, let's say 60,000 feet, the speed of sound has dropped 100 miles an hour down to 660 miles an hour, and so on and so on. But once you get up to 11 kilometers, the temperature increases right there in the thermosphere. So that increase in temperature, um, according to fluid dynamics, says that when you have an increase of temperature, the speed of sound will increase, right? And when that speed of sound has been decreasing and meets that sudden increase, it creates what's called an acoustic shadow, meaning that when sound is reflected off this layer 11 kilometers up, the sound is reflected upwards, and sound cannot travel through an acoustic shadow. So once this plane or anything that would produce a sonic boom is above 11 kilometers, you'll never hear that sonic boom. So we also know that sonic booms can only happen in one direction. That's when an object moves from subsonic to supersonic. It doesn't happen when an object is slowing down. It goes from supersonic to subsonic. So imagine a plane flying, and as soon as they hit 761 miles an hour, you're going to hear that sonic boom. But if they're traveling 1,000 miles an hour and slow down to 500 miles an hour, you're never going to hear a sonic boom because it only happens in one direction. You're going to hear the sonic boom receding the object until it reaches 761. Then you're not going to hear it anymore. So whenever one of these space shuttles supposedly re-enters the atmosphere, um, which is a whole nother thing because now NASA says the moon's inside our atmosphere. So you have the atmosphere of Earth extending all the way to the moon. So there is no re-entry into an atmosphere because you never left the atmosphere, according to NASA. So you cannot produce a sonic boom. Even if a sonic boom occurred at that altitude, you would never hear it on the ground because you have that acoustic shadow at 11 kilometers up. That's why if you go back and you watch the space launches for like Dragon X's space launch, you'll see the speed of the rocket, and then next to it, it tells you their altitude, and they always time it so that whenever they reach 11 kilometers, they produce a sonic boom because that way they don't have to actually physically show the sonic boom because they can say it was blocked by that acoustic shadow. Now, when they're traveling back, you hear the sonic boom on landing. How did it travel through the acoustic shadow? So it it means that they're not doing what they say they're doing, and that's one of the things I've been looking into a lot lately, Dave.
Yes, sir. That sounds like you've you've done some research here over the last year. I know your time is limited, sir, and I really appreciate you coming on here tonight. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dave. And I just want to give a shout out to the whole Kakalaki crew. I can't do it without you guys. We're on the streets almost every single weekend, um, giving people free food or picking up trash or doing good in the community somewhere, putting buggies back in corrals for us, just helping people out. Um, and just want to give a big shout out to everybody in the crew. You guys know who you are, and I appreciate you having me on, Dave. And anytime, just hit me up, and I'll come on as a guest, brother.
Yes, sir. I wanted to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. While I had the opportunity, and that's why I called for this tonight. I really appreciate it. I mean, I want to welcome everyone in. Sweet Peace, Quebec, Miss Ann Walsworth, Wick on Fire, Linda DeBose, Ascension Rising. Thank you. I appreciate y'all coming here. Let me look back a little bit more. Darla Lama, thank you. Yeah, I hope to get, we spread the community and get people coming over to your community also, that Flat Fellow. I like to promote channels here if I can, and I just put your link in there. I hope everyone subscribes. I notice sometimes you do a little premiere, and you have these puppets on. And your channel also is for entertainment. I mean, I've watched quite a bit of your stuff, and I just really appreciate, you being there and for my community, and I just hope you have a Merry Christmas, man. Is there anything else you'd like to add tonight?
Now, I think it's a great idea what you're doing this year in review. Catching up with everybody in the chat and bringing them up because I like to put hear some voices to the names you see in chat. And when people speak, they're able to type a lot more characters than they can in the chat. So you have a lot of great people in the chat. Like Darla Lama and Ann Walsworth and Ascension Rising, Wick on Fire, all these great people that come out. Sweet Peace, Quebec, that come out and see your chats all the time, brother. And we appreciate what you do. And anytime you need anything, you know where to find me. And I'll help you out any way I can.
Yeah, so you sent them pictures to me. What was that in the ground you had there? Was them pipe or cable wire?
Both. Working on a project that was an underground fueling system that I was working on. And, I'm just sending you some pictures of what I do because people say a lot of things in this world and I always like to back it up with pictures so that when I tell somebody something and they don't believe it or because a lot of people are skeptical, especially with everything going on now, I like to make sure that when I say something, I always have the evidence to back up everything that I'm saying. Not that, I've
Exactly.
ever would ever lie to somebody, but when someone questions you on something, you say, well, I know don't believe anything I'm saying. Go do the research for yourself. But when I tell you something, here's the evidence to back it up. And I'll hand you a pamphlet or show you a video or a picture to show you that everything that I'm saying is 100% legit. But if you believe everything I say without checking into it yourself, you're no better off than when you were indoctrinated as a kid and you believed everything you were told back then. So just check into things.
Exactly. Yeah, I watched a lot of flat earthers here on YouTube, and I mean, I've been pretty closely convinced. I have people or someone that leaves comments on some of my videos, and there's no real proof here that I'm convinced either way because I like dialogue and I want people to share what they have researched. And this guy calls me a flat earther in my comments, and I have to erase, his comments because I've never let on whichever way. I've even showed rockets, from the launches, and you would think I was one way or the other, which I've never really said.
Yeah, but see, you're one of those people that you're an honest human. You're not an NPC that's just walking around. You have an open mind, and I don't want you to just look at some of the stuff I do. Look at NASA. Look at what all the Globers are saying, and then look at the flat earthers. But look at everything else too. There's many truth in this world. That's just the tip of the iceberg. And I ask everybody to do exactly what Dave does. Go into it with an open mind, decide for yourself, and you don't have to publicly disclose what you believe one way or the other, but it's all about knowing and finding out the information for yourself.
That's right. I've even seen comments, people saying they've never seen the horizon, and then vice versa, people see the horizon. So, um, in a way, it's kind of hard to believe. To me, I'll go ahead and say it's kind of hard to believe one way or the other. And I don't mean to be on the fence. Um, I know myself which way I mostly lean into, but that's not what my channel is about. So I don't have to definitely give an answer to anyone out there the way I just want when I bring someone up, that they convince us here in the community how they got to where and what they believe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just, everybody's in their own individual journey, and that's why my channel is the way it is. I like to provide entertainment. And another thing that you don't see is you don't see me on the channel. What I like to do is I have a harness that I have the camera on, and I walk around because I want the person that's watching my channel to feel like they are me. They can see it from the first person point of view, and it makes people more comfortable talking to other people. I believe when you watch it in that viewpoint, because you feel like you're the one in the driver's seat. And the only reason my channel exists is to entertain people and to encourage people to get out and speak truth and to show them how easy it is. And if we have more people, more dialogue that's calm, you don't see yelling and screaming and stuff like that on my channel, just calm dialogues between people, I think this entire world would be a better place.
Yeah, it's pretty calm there. You are a person of pretty calmness. You sure are. Can I play one of your videos?
Sure, Dave. You can play anything that you want anytime of mine. It's all publicly available to anyone that wants to play anything of mine.
And most of your videos do have your voice in it. Let me find the one I want to find, and but if you don't have anything else you want to add, what about these conspiracies? Now, is it possible these aluminum particles? Um, with this five that's going to happen, be turned up soon. Were these metal particles in the atmosphere, in the air, would they cause more frequency to be sent from particle to area and just surround the earth with frequency using these metal particles?
So one of the things, if we're going to look at it, delve into that point, I want to start by saying that I went out with an EMF detector because in the state of South Carolina, where I'm located, it is illegal to have anything produce emit more than 10 microtesla. So I went out with the EMF detector in Greenville, where the five is activated, and we tested, and it was more than five times the legal limit. And right in front of the news station, we talked to employees of the news station. We showed them that what was going on. They ignored us, and people in suits came up, asked us what we were doing, and we basically got run out of the area just going out and testing because we wanted to show people what was going on. Now, as far as can these aluminum particles be used as part of that process? Well, we know that frequencies and sound, you know, fre- sound or frequency is a sound, and we know that during my research into the speed of sound, I've noticed that according to fluid dynamics, um, like the speed of sound will travel faster through water, like up to I believe 4 times faster through water. If you were to put it through, the more dense an object, the faster it'll travel. Like let's say diamond. If you're going to put sound through a diamond, project it through a diamond, now instead of a gaseous medium like our air or a liquid medium such as water, now you have a solid medium, and because the particles are so dense and tightly packed together, sound can now travel at 35 times faster than it would in air. So when you add these um, solids into the gas, now you have more and more particles. The more particles in our atmosphere, the faster sound or these frequencies can move through. So when these things become active, they're going to travel a lot faster. The more particles in the atmosphere, the faster it's going to travel. So this could be linked to that as well. If they wanted to, when they turn it on for the whatever the result's going to be to travel faster, by adding those particles to the medium, which is our atmosphere, you will allow for that frequency to travel at a much greater rate, you know, furthering whatever agenda they have when they turn it on.
I was looking for a video to play. Um, I guess I'll play it while you're here. I see you muted yourself again. Thank you all for coming in. I don't have the crowd I expected to have to come in, but I really appreciate everybody that did show up. Hello, Audio Skywatcher. I noticed you put a. We have another guest or welcome here. Let's see. I won't play that video quite yet. Then Wick on Fire. Appreciate you coming up. That flat fellow, are you still here?
I'm still here, Dave, but I just mute myself whenever I'm not speaking so that I don't talk over you or interrupt you, because just
I
out of
got you.
respect for the host.
Maybe this guy has something to add. And
Um,
okay,
okay.
here we
Here we
are.
are.
How you
How
doing?
you doing?
Wick on Fire. How
Wick
you
on Fire.
doing?
How you doing?
All
All
right.
right.
I
I
can't hear
can't hear
you. Wick
you.
on
Wick on.
Fire. I have
I
an
have an
echo.
echo.
Could you
Could you
close
close
your
your
extra
exit?
tab until you
Until
close
you
that
close
extra
that
tab?
extra tab?
We're having
We're
too many
having.
problems. That flat fellow.
What's up, brother?
We having problems tonight. Yeah, if you got an extra tab open, it'll cause an echo and we can't hear you. All right. I was going to play that video. I have to find it again now.
I did have one go
I'm
viral the
sorry.
other day.
If you want to add anything else, sir, compared to these chemtrails and the flat earth, I was expecting two more guests on tonight also after you, but if they don't show up, it's all good, because uh, I mean, I wanted to ask a few questions of what's going on in Australia, and you know, with one of my guests.
You know how it
But
is,
last
brother.
night,
I can talk. I can talk flat Earth if you want to.
yes, sir. I was going to try to play this video. I have a few problems. My internet is one of the slowest internets I've ever had. What about these asteroids in a flat Earth? Are we going to get hit with an asteroid?
No, you will not. And the way that I explain that now, this is speculation because I haven't done the test yet for it, but this is the conclusion that we've come to, and that is that if you take a glass of water and set it at room temperature, and you put ice cubes in it, what happens to the outside of the glass? Well, you get condensation. Now, what if you put the ice cubes in that same glass of water and you lower the temperature in the room to 33 degrees? The water itself will not freeze inside the glass because there's a larger mass of it. But the condensation outside the glass, the droplets will freeze. So in Genesis, it tells us we have the waters above and the waters below. And mainstream science tells us that the waters above, or what they like to refer to as space, is negative 373 degrees and is a 10 to the negative 17 torr vacuum. So if we can say that even if it's not that temperature, but it's much, much lower above than it is below, then you'll get that same effect from the firmament, the dome that surrounds the flat Earth. And when
Class light magnitude 4.8 5 minutes ago.
Go
when
ahead,
those
Si.
droplets freeze, they're going to fall down because we know there's a downward declination. Is that gravity? No, it's just buoyancy and density. When one object is, denser than the medium around it, it's going to go down in a downward declination. What controls that downward declination? We're still looking into that. But as that object descends faster to Earth, we know that the upper atmosphere is much thinner than the lower, so it's going to reach a higher speed. As it reaches a higher speed, the particles that are in front of that object are going to condense. So you're going to get that ice burning through the atmosphere, and it's going to condense. And depending on what the medium that surrounds it is in the atmosphere, so that would be if it's high nitrogen content in the air at that point, or if you have high oxygen content, that's going to produce a different color. That's why you see the different colors. And as that object comes down, it's created that fireball because it's traveling faster and faster. And when air is pushed out of the way of an object traveling at that rate of speed, it creates a fireball and a compression. And so all those particles that are in front of it condense and form a solid that's not ice, but an actual physical solid. So when that impacts down on the earth, you have that rock because you go to the impact craters and you see these rocks there. Now those are the particles that were condensed and compressed in front of the original ice that was coming down from underneath the firmament, and that's what I personally believe that meteors are.
So you don't think there's really anything coming in from outer space?
Since
Earthquake
space isn't
downgraded
real, then no.
from 4.8 location.
There's
You
no
can't.
possible way
Light 7
that
minutes
that could
ago.
happen if there is no space.
Right. We know for a fact you can't have space because let's look at science. Let's not talk about science fiction, or let's look at science. Use the scientific method. If you do an experiment, is it observable and repeatable? And if you introduce a variable, do you get the same result? So we all know the scientific method from school. So if we use the scientific method, which science does not use in mainstream science, they use pseudoscience, but an actual scientist will use the scientific method. You don't just make up stuff, extrapolate data based on one test. You introduce variables. So there is no test in which you can do where you can have gas pressure next to a vacuum without a container. So if you open up a can of soda and you have pressurized air inside that can of soda and you open it up, the air will expand to fill the void around it because the air that's outside that can is less pressurized. So just like the same thing with the earth, there has to be a container like a can on that can of soda. So can you introduce another variable by taking away that barrier? No, you can't. You can't have contained air pressure without some sort of a barrier. So we know for a fact that there's a barrier up between us and the waters above. So you cannot go to space because there is a barrier there. And anybody that says that they can go to space, well, now you've just thrown physics out the window and you've created some type of physics and never explained how you're creating some new type of physics where you're teleporting through barriers and stuff like that. I mean, it's time for us as a society, like humans, to just actually sit down and think about what they say they're doing, and with any modicum of common sense and an open mind, you'll see that they're just full of it. It's all nonsense because it cannot possibly happen because we can debunk everything they're doing with a can of soda.
Right. That makes good sense, sir. The planets and the stars, are they just plasma lights or?
So we refer to those as the luminaries because with our telescopes and our P900s, we zoom in onto them and we don't see the objects, the images that NASA shows us. You notice they always call those images, not photographs. It says composite image. You know, this picture was constructed from a lot of different images, but they'll never really
Right.
use the term picture. They will say an image because it's not real. It's not something that was actually
Yeah.
observed. It's just data that's extrapolated into a an image. And the guy that was behind that for NASA, his name was Robert Simon, and he was charged with the task of what would the Earth look like if viewed from space if what mainstream science is correct. And that's why when you look at the picture of the blue marble, which it comes with every phone, and you zoom in on the actual clouds, one thing you'll notice is the clouds that are near each other, they're copy and pasted exact replicas. Now, how many times do you go outside and you look up in the sky and all the clouds are exactly the same? Or you see two clouds that are exactly the same next to each other, and then you look off to your
Then
right and you see
never.
two more clouds. Yeah, that never happens. That's not something that is observable and repeatable. You know, that never happens. So that when we're presented with a picture in which this supposedly happened, we know that that's not real because it's just fake. And the guy Robert Simmons come forward and he said that was my job at NASA to create these images. And nope, it's just like people just want to throw that off and believe whatever they want it to because the imagination is so powerful that people, the world that we live in, it's just so bad for most people, and the way that it's set up, and that they're just so unhappy with their lives, they turn to their imagination to think of a future that can be great and wondrous. But instead of trying to fix the actual reality that's around them, they just want to dream. And I think it's time we focus on reality and stop dreaming.
Wick on fire before I let that flat fellow go. Was there any questions you had for him? I noticed you was putting stuff in comments in the chat log. You're
You're
muted.
muted.
Once again, I
Again,
hear
I
that
hear
echo
that
every
echo
time
every
you come
time
up
you
here.
come up here.
I can't hear a word you're saying, my friend. All right, I'm going to try to play this. I don't know if everybody's seen this. Let me try to play this. It keeps going to too big of a screen. Yeah, before I let the flat fella go, he has children and everything, y'all. Um, and he's got to get to them. And the thing is my it keeps being too large where I can't get back into the StreamYard. All right, let's see. Maybe this will work. All right, let's share this. Share screen. All right, let's try that. Share screen. Click this, click that. All right, it should take about 14 seconds to pull this up.
How you doing today? Good. You want to be on a game show? Win $60? All you gotta do is answer 3 questions, right? All right. First question: what is the distance from the Earth to the Sun in miles?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
You gotta check it.
There you go. First person all day with the right answer.
It's not 93 million miles.
Can you see anything? This is the way my screwy internet is. But anyway, as y'all see, Super Dave was on that Flat Fellow video. I met that Flat Fellow at the flea market. It was a surprise to me. I was honored to meet you, sir. And I'm glad to know you. I really am. I hope to come out and catch one of your events going on again. I thank you, sir. I know this was at the last minute. Thank you. As we see, the year in review for that Flat Fellow has been a pretty awesome year.
And I appreciate you having me here, Dave. I'm happy to met you and know you, brother, and happy to call you a friend. And you keep doing what you're doing because you're providing a great service for the community. I love watching your live streams because just some of the hearing other people that are real talk sometimes that are just not NPCs walking around. It's just refreshing. And I love your live streams, brother. Keep it up.
Well, thank you for all the contributions you made too. It goes to my equipment and all that. I mean, I plan to make a few changes next year and add some featured channels to my channel. And hopefully we get several of you and help get more subscribers also, because this community is full of flat earthers. I mean, I've started doing YouTube and I'm amazed at the things that these people have taught me, not only about the flat earth, but about a lot of conspiracies. And I probably wouldn't have caught on this quick about this jabberoo thing going on, and how the government is doing and the things the government has done in the past. And I'm sure they will continue to do their old tricks, and just like spraying the chemtrails and try to hide the truth. If there is a flat earth, they've changed the whole narrative around and have the kids believing in a globe. And if there is a flat earth, like I say, I have to do more research. I have to pray about it before I really come to a conclusion about a flat earth. I don't discount anything anyone says because it made me started researching and looking up verses. And I can go to videos out there like 75 verses from the Bible and stuff. I mean, and like I say, and I really believe that the Bible shows and has verses that would support a flat earth. And it's just, it may be complicated, it may not be. There are certain things that we may not see through, or a lot of you do see through. Those with the eyes to see and those with the ears to hear. We're all different. We all built in a different way. We can't exactly see the same thing at the same time. Some of us take longer to learn. Some people just can see it right off the top. Thank you, sir. Have a Merry Christmas.
Thanks, brother. Until next time.
I hope my internet is catching up. Chris Callie, thank you for coming in. Linda DeBose, I hope your son isn't hurt too bad. I'm sorry to hear this. I'm sorry to hear this. Thank you for telling us. We'll be praying for your son. Deborah O'Rat, thank you for being here. Miss Ann Walsworth, here, I'm going to try Wick on Fire one more time before I leave the stream. Wick on Fire says he has a chemtrail film.
film.
I have
I
that
have
echo
that
again.
echo again.
I can't
I
hear a word
can't
you're
hear a word
saying,
you're
brother.
saying, brother.
I don't know.
I
It
don't
ain't
know. It
me.
ain't me.
Your
Your
audio is
audio
turned
is
on
turned on
right here.
right
I mean, I
here. I
can show
mean,
you
I can
how
show
I
you
can
how
mute
I
it
can.
right here. See, I muted you, and now there's no echo. I cut you back on. There's an echo, and I can't hear a word you're saying. Miss Ann
Miss Ann
Walsworth, thank you
Walsworth,
for
thank you
coming
for
in.
coming in.
I just
I
heard a
just
little
heard a
bit. Go
little
ahead
bit. Go
again.
ahead again.
All right. Do we have another guest here? I was asking Bruce Caesar to come up as a year in review for his channel 2021. How his things been going over there, and what does he kind of hope to do in the future? And Miss Beck from Oz, I was asking her to come up, and Anthony Dickinson. If you are here in the chat log, please let me know. I'll be glad to accept you coming up because I'm honored that we know one another here on YouTube. I took this time. I've been running, y'all, today. I was hoping to have a couple hours to be able to review and do and ask questions, and I really didn't make time for that. But I wanted to stick to, this live stream. The echo is for the music. All right, we'll try it one more time. But the echo that I hear is me. I'm echoing. That's the point. When I said echo, I can't hear a word that you're saying. I can't hear your music. I only hear myself echoing. I'll try it one more time. Everyone, I hear no echo now. We can't even hear your music, man. I'm playing my channel here on the background on my phone. It would come through on my speaker. On my computer, it would come through on my computer. On my phone, it would come through on my Bluetooth speaker. I hear my echo
on my
again.
Computer, it would come through on my computer.
See, the echo is me. If you have a double tab pulled up, then it'll cause an echo. You have to have only one tab in your computer pulled up at a time. All right. 07 ringtone. Hello. Thank you, all new subscribers. I appreciate you coming in on over here to Super Dave 44. Please hit the thumbs up. We just had a great interview with that flat fellow. We really did. This man is educated. He knows a lot about the chemtrails. If you missed and you want to learn something, go back and listen to that flat fellow. He's an engineer. He has his own channel here on YouTube. I'll run his link again. He does activism, street activism, He's an activist for that flat earth. And they do services. They go around and they pick up trash on the side of the highway and stuff. And they talk to people in a humble way, and they give people pamphlets and shows them videos and stuff, trying to convince them of I mean, a lot of people don't even know the answers to the globe theory, you know? When he asked people how many miles is the sun away from the earth and all that, they don't even know that what they learned in school, anything about the globe model, you know? So he tells people that the sun is really not 93 million miles away, you know, that a lot of that is just what the people in control have told everyone. All right. In case you don't know, that flat fellow, let's see if we can put that link right there. There's the link. That should be to his channel. And it's a video. It says Super Dave 44 meets that flat fellow. Yeah, that was the first time I met him. He's a nice guy, man. Chris Callie, thank you for being here. If you'd quit playing them games and go back to your singing and live streaming, Super Dave would spend time over there because I love to watch you sing, Chris. You have a voice. I believe if you was in America or somewhere, or if the right person heard your voice, you'd have an opportunity to make it. You know? With practice, you would reach a perfect level, you know? And I know you practice, I'm saying with a singing instructor and all that. There's things that we all still could learn. But I do. I love to watch Chris Callie sing because she's right there. She's good at it, y'all. She really is. Maybe I picked a bad night tonight. I didn't even get 15 people in my chat. But it's all good. I really appreciate Linda DeBose. Thank you. He was trying to help someone. That's something you don't need, you know? Is more problems. We all don't need more problems. I know that. Miss Ann Walsworth, let's keep Linda DeBoe's son in our prayers, please. Thank you all for coming tonight. It didn't work out the way I planned, but that flat fellow, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. If I had the opportunity to go to Florida and meet the gang, I would. But you'll see me again at the flea market, guaranteed. I'll come back around. Thank you all. Y'all have a wonderful night. We've been live 1 hour. And that's what I wanted to do, is giving everybody an opportunity to come on and speak tonight. I know it's been a rough year in Australia. I was surprised last night to see Miss Beck from Oz. I was going to tell her also. I've seen her quarantine video show up in a lot of videos out there. Just today, someone else put it in their video with her voice showing 2 fences around a camp, you know, a gym set near outside, and what she spoke of in the video. Yeah, her voice, her video has shown up in many videos out there on YouTube. And that's awesome. She's getting the word out, and people are helping her do that by using her video. Thank you, everyone. If I could have got at least 15 in tonight, I would have been happy. But I guess last night they took my video down too from the Christmas lights because I wasn't playing my Sirius FM radio. I was playing local radio, And I think it was because of one of the ads in the radio. And that's kind of crazy. I was just trying to play Christmas music. And they took my video away from me. Miss Linda DeBose, we will be praying for your son. Lord, touch this boy. Touch her son, Linda DeBose's son. Help him stay off his foot. Y'all soak it tonight, okay? If it's his ankle or whatever, soak it in some hot water, not too hot, just warm and salt water with some alcohol, and see if that'll keep the swelling from getting up. And if it hurts in 24 hours, I would go get it seen about. If it hurts in the morning, I would go get it seen about. If it don't look right, I would go get it seen about. Hello, Grace. Chris Callie. Grace is in the house. Please hit the thumbs up. Thank you very much. Y'all have a wonderful night. It's his foot. My youngest daughter hurt her foot. She had slipped on a big rock, a big piece of granite. Like a dirt road, gravel. But this wasn't in a dirt road. This was at the side of a road at a gas station. And that thing caused her to twist her ankle. And I was like, at first, I wasn't even sure if it was broke. But the next morning, it was still hurting a lot. And we went and got it seen about. And I was kind of wrong because I didn't think it was broke. And come to find out, she had broke her ankle. So something like that is hard to tell about, Thank you all. I love and appreciate this community. My year in review for 2021 has been an awesome year. My channel has grown a lot. Thank you all, your new subscribers out there. Thank you all great supporters that's been here the whole time with me. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And this is not my last live stream for the year. But as for my channel, I hadn't accomplished everything I wanted to this year. I did want to do better videos. I mean, I really. Please hit the thumbs up.